hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Yvonne Robinson Jackson. This is Yvonne Robinson Jackson coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario. If you are here for the first time, welcome. And if you are watching the live show, I would love to see you. I would love to see you guys. I would love that you will put in the comment section. I'd love you put in the comment section. Robert Berry is here. Hey, Robert. I would like you to put in the comment section #live. And if you are watching on the replay, you could put #replay. So I'm going to welcome everybody. I know there are people who are watching from YouTube. There are also some of my people who are watching from Facebook. So I'd like to welcome all my career professionals today because this is a great topic. There is so much controversy over the topic of the ATS, the Applicant Tracking System. Hello, hello, hello. Let me just stop and say hello to some folks here. I have, I'm just gonna show, as you know, I'm running solo. And I have to do some clicks here to show you come up on my screen. So I hope I'll be able to see some comments. Are you seeing the comments here, guys? Are you seeing? Right now I'm showing Robert, right? And Renee is on the show. Hello, Renee. Renee is here. Wonderful, wonderful. So let us say hello to some folks who are here. Wonderful, wonderful. Gulnar is here. I'm so happy to see you guys. I'm so happy to see you today. And there are some people from LinkedIn who are coming in, but it just says LinkedIn user. So that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So as everybody comes in, I just like you to put #live if you are live, and if you are watching on the replay, as I said, put #replay. So for those who don't know me, or for those who have never heard of me before, my name is Yvonne Robinson Jackson. I am a career transformation coach, and what that means that I help to transform your career in an expert way. I'm also the owner of goal-inspiredcareercoaching.com. It's my website and it is ranked. You Google that, you will find me. And on my website, I have some nice goodies there, some nice diamonds there for my goal-inspired career professionals. And I'm also the owner of the Career Advancement Club on Facebook. Wonderful, guys. So that's enough about me right now. I just today it's like a webinar, because I have to show you some screens, some screenshots, and a webinar here that I have that I would like to talk to you about the ATS, the Applicant Tracking System. And I'm going to pull it up there on my screen. And just 1 minute here, the Applicant Tracking System. Are you seeing this? I would like you to see a big representation here. Are you seeing what is on my screen? It says the Applicant Tracking System. Are you seeing that, guys? Just let me know. If you're seeing, say yes. If you're seeing, say yes. #. Are you seeing the Applicant Tracking System on my screen? Okay, well, yes, the witness protection people, applicant tracking. So are you seeing that on the screen? Just let me know, because I'm switching screens. As you know, when I do these live shows, I do it solo. So it is important that you engage with me to let me know that if you're seeing my screen, and you're seeing my screen. So that is wonderful. So all I'm seeing right now is my screen. I'm not even seeing you guys. So I just want to talk about the Applicant Tracking System. I want to talk about what the Applicant Tracking System is and why of the ATS. Why do people use an ATS, an Applicant Tracking System? Who builds an Applicant Tracking System and who use them? Right? We're going to get inside the ATS a little bit to show you what the recruiters see and what the recruiters do. So I think this is a very good webinar for those job seekers or career professionals who would like to know really what we as recruiters see. I have used one for a long time, and I would like to tell you all that. And I'm going to get a little bit into Boolean searches. Now, a Boolean search string is what we have to do to get your resume outside of the applicant tracking system. So now you know that your resume did not fall through the system. It is not getting past the system, and there is no beating of the applicant tracking system. You cannot beat the ATS, right? You cannot beat an ATS. You cannot do things to get by or to get past the ATS. So whoever is telling you that, whoever is trying to write your resume for you and telling you that they can help to get you past the ATS, it is not true. It might just be a marketing way, because you know how marketing is, right? So don't get too confused with that. So, and we're going to talk about the implications for the job seeker. So I'm just going to go into the what of the applicant tracking system. What is it? Right? It is a CUTS application. And when we say CUTS, it's customized off-the-shelf application. For those who are here, who are in IT, will understand what I mean. But when I was younger, they used to call it canned programs. It's like you take a can of sardine off the shelf and you put your salt and your pepper and your onions on it. You make it customized for you. It's like you buy something and you take it to the tailor to get it tailored. So every company who buys the CUTS applications, they do not use it the same way. It has to be customized for their needs. It's like buying Microsoft Dynamics CRM, which is a customer relationship application. Every company doesn't use Microsoft Dynamics CRM the same way. Every company does not use Remedy, which is the help desk system, the same way, because every company, as my friend Mr. Berry, who is on here, will tell you, that all different companies have their different processes. Every company, no company is the same. So that is why when people are saying, oh, you do this with your resume because this company has this applicant tracking system, they really do similar things. And the same process of getting your resume out is the same, but it has to be customized to the needs. So it is a software using by companies to manage their recruiting and hiring process. It is customized by the companies, as I said, that market them, configure them to solve business process issues of the client. And each client uses them differently, right? Okay, so why do they use them anyway? Why are they messing around with us? They use it for organizational efficiency. The ATS helps companies to be organized and efficient. It manages the volume of applications in challenging. When the volume of applications are challenging for hiring companies, they need something to manage it, right? Many online applicants will just apply to any job anyway. And can you imagine the volume of applications that are going into those companies? So they have a high increase in volume. Large companies like recruiting firms hire multiple positions. They hire for multiple positions simultaneously. So they need a robust system to manage the process, okay? So I am going to see here if, are you getting, is there anybody right now who is who on this call who has any issue with anything so far? Comment below. Let me know if you're understanding what's going on here. If you understand why the poor recruiting firms has to use this system in order to manage the volume of jobs that come in. Because sometimes, you know, a company will have one or two jobs and they post it and they get hundreds of applications. So they have to have a way to manage those applications. So I hope we are good with that. And I'm just going to go back right away to my next slide. Okay. All right. So my next slide. Why do they use what? So why do the companies use applicant tracking systems? I'm continuing with that. It is a customer relationship management system. I know a lot of IT folks are here because I spent 15 plus years, 20 plus years in IT. So I was an IT recruiter. I do understand IT, and I know a lot of IT people are here. They understand what I'm talking about when I talk about a COTS application and a CRM that manages the client relationship manager tool. It streamlines the hiring process, guys. For some large companies, maybe like Amazon and Microsoft, can you imagine the amount of applications that they get? So in order to streamline those, the pipeline for those applications, it facilitates automated communication. Everybody's talking about today about automated communication, digital age. They're building systems to make their processes more automated. So most companies, when they have this application, they can send an automated email back to you to say, they from the system, they don't have to go and use another application, Microsoft Outlook, to send you an email. The system allows them, they just go in and click and they send you the email. So somebody has to trigger those emails coming back to you. It's not like the system just rejects you like that or something like that. All right. They have to have somebody triggering those emails to come back to you to say you were not a fit. So they do it right in one application. You don't want to have 2, 3, 4, 5 applications doing the same thing. Also, the distribution of job postings. When I used to post a job, I have to post it to Monster and to Indeed and to other job sites, and to the website, the company's website. You go into the system and you post the job, and one click, it sends it right to Monster, to Indeed, and everywhere. Can you imagine if the poor companies, the poor recruiter has to go write a job application, a job posting, then they go have to go do something to send that to Monster. Then they go do something else to send it to Indeed. One click. Published, and that job application simultaneously goes everywhere on one click. So that is very important. Another very, very important thing is proof of government compliance, like the EEOC. Now, I'm not in the United States, but you career professionals who are in the United States, you know that companies have to comply with the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. And this is a way for them to have the record, and because this is a regulatory body that enforces the federal laws, right? So I'm not going to get into that. I'm not in the US. I did do my research on this, so you know about that. And in Ontario, Canada, I'm in Ontario, and we have the Ontario Human Rights Commission, right? You have to comply. I think in the States, if you have more than 15 or something like that employees, you have to make sure that your jobs are published and they are in accordance with the EEO laws, right? So I'm not going to get into the complications of that. You can always Google that and find that out. But for that reason, a company would want to know that they have records, okay? So who are these companies that create these things? For example, on LinkedIn, I see JobVite all the time, Brassring and Lever, right? They are advertising their applicant tracking system. So these are the companies, Telio, IC, IMS, Greenhouse, JobVite. They create custom cards application, customized, really, applications that they sell to other companies. I am very familiar with some of the other ones, and Bullhorn. I've used Bullhorn a lot. And some of the cost companies don't buy these COTS applications. They custom build their own. They build their application from scratch. They get the IT persons to come in and develop their database, the applicant tracking system, like Google, I think Google and Microsoft and Apple and Facebook builds their own. But newsflash, LinkedIn has an applicant tracking system, right? So if you're afraid of the applicant tracking system, you might as well go delete all our profiles. The recruiter board, LinkedIn has what we call a recruiter board. And I had, up until say last month or the month before, I had my LinkedIn account was for the recruiter board, because we had to pay for the recruiter board. And many companies, they actually pay for the recruiter board that you don't see. It is in the back end. Only recruiters see it, right? Right? So embrace it. I think I spelled that wrong. Should I just correct that right away? Thank you for embrace it. EMBRACE. Embrace it, guys. You are in LinkedIn's applicant tracking system. So don't be scared of the ATS. LinkedIn has an integration in the backend. So if I have, say, Bullhorn, and it is integrated in the backend with LinkedIn, right? So this afternoon, I edit this just to let you know that if you are looking for a job, just make sure that in the back, when you go on your profile, on the me icon, when you can do your settings, make sure that your profile is set to sharing your profile when you click apply. If you're applying for a job, it should say yes. I'm not applying for any job, so mine said no. This is just a screenshot of mine, okay? So remember, ensure that you go in and click that they should send your profile, okay? So is that good, guys? How is that so far? How is that so far? Right? Let me know if there's anything there that is new to you about what I've said so far. Yes? Right? So is there anything that is new or different that you've heard so far that you are anything new? Okay, so I will just keep going, and I'm just going to go through the next section because I want to get to the part where I show you what the recruiters actually see. Okay, I'm going to get there and show you what the recruiters actually see. Okay, so as I said today, I'm going to show you some screenshots. Right, I'm going to show you some screenshots, but I'm showing you those screenshots from an applicant tracking system called Bullhorn. This is the closest you are going to get to it. Because if I were to go to a company and say, I'm doing a presentation about Bullhorn, I'd like you to use your system to show my people on LinkedIn, they would probably say, get out of town, Yvonne, because you're going to be seeing proprietary information. All your records are there, all your names and addresses and everything are there. So I'm not using live data. I'm using some screenshots which are out there in the market. They're out there in public domain because Bullhorn has its training upon YouTube and maybe on Google that I could get some nice screenshots of so I could explain. So my first screenshot here is very pale. And that is why I try to make my screen as big as possible. But I don't expect you to read all these things here. I'm just going to explain to them. When a recruiter opens up the applicant tracking system, they see this page. This is a page where I have all the icons and where they can click on each icon and get into the different areas. So candidates, if I want to find candidates, I'm going to go into the candidate area. And as you see, I made sure I highlighted those. You know, I redid these. So Bullhorn sees this now. I hope they realize I'm making sure I see on the screen that I rewrote these and put them in there. I can even move them around, right? Okay, so just disclaimer there so that if they see my stuff on YouTube, they know that I didn't mess up with their stuff. I just did this in order to highlight it. Otherwise, you'd be seeing little writings like that. But I just want you to see these ones that I'm highlighting. I put these arrows. So what we do as a recruiter, we have to enter each client. Say my client is, I don't know, I'm talking about Bell Canada today again. Say my client is Mitel or one of those companies. I always like to use tech companies because I know a lot of tech, okay? All right, so let us say Mitel, okay? Say my client is Mitel. You would go into the system and I would have to enter the name of the client contact. I would also have to enter the name of the company. So we actually have to put those names in there. When we have a job from a client, we go in and we enter the jobs. Now, what about you? You are the candidate. The way your resume gets into the system is two ways. You can apply for a job, or you can go to the company's website and enter your name in their system. That is why if you're looking for jobs, guys, I always go and say, give you some more tips. And you know some companies that those are the companies that you would like to work with, you should go to their website so that they have your profile in their ATS. It's not falling out. It's not dropping out. It's going to be in their database. That is the applicant tracking system. Then, if you apply for a job through LinkedIn to, say, Mitel, then your resume gets pushed into the back. They will go in and they will search for your resume and they will pull them into their database because there is an integration. When you apply for the job, it doesn't go straight in the company's database. Maybe it can be configured that way, but how I've used it, we would actually have to go into LinkedIn, pull up the candidates, and then we drag them into our database. Some of the candidates are already integrated in there because they were in there before or something, but it does not really go automatically when you apply for the job. It applies to the job that they post in the back of the system in the recruiter board, and they can see all your profiles in the recruiter board, and they can pull them in their own system, which is integrated. I hope that is not too confusing. So you apply for the job on LinkedIn, it goes into the recruiter board where the companies pay for, and then they can pull your resume from there into their system. We also put the companies and the clients are attached in some way because of the way the database fields are. Okay, so I'm just focusing on the candidate right now, right? So I just wanted you to see what we see, right? And that is what we see. And then I'm going to go through the next page and I'm going to show you a list of candidates. So if I were to click here, as I say, this is the clearest representation of your closest you're going to get as a candidate to a database. Then you're going to see this. Now, it is cloudy right now because I made sure that I could highlight candidates. And I'm going to explain what these are. These are just fields in the database. These are different candidates, right? This is a field that is called a score, that when you apply for a job, and I'm going to tell you about that, it scores you how high you rank for that job, right? This is a status of the candidates, all the candidates in the system. Some are placed, some are active, right? Some were on former contracts. Owner is that the recruiter who puts you in the system, or if a recruiter is working with you, they can take ownership of your file. I used to own a lot of files because I met 40 consultants a month. 40 times, how many times? 15 years is a lot of people, okay? And we used to meet them face to face. A recruiter's job is hard work, right? Your phone number, if you have a cell phone. Okay, title. Your title is project manager. And I'm going to get back to the title thing, guys, because I work with some candidates sometimes and they do not know, they are not clear about who they are. You need to know if you're a project manager, a Java developer, right? Okay, you're a marketing specialist, a journalist. You need to be clear of who you are, okay? And then the date, when a recruiter or somebody in the company put a note in the system, and I'm going to explain the note and the date when your profile was added to the system. So I'm going to go back now and talk to you now to find out, is that confusing? Gulnar, are you here? Or do you understand how the recruiter goes into the system? how the recruiter sees a schematic there. Maybe there's a nicer word for it. Maybe Michael can give me a nicer word for the schema. And do you understand now that when they click on all the candidates, they're able to see a list of candidates, and there are many, many, many candidates in the system. Okay, so I just wanted to explain that, guys, because I am trying to show you in the best way I can for you to see what the recruiter sees. And the only way for me to do that, I will say this again, is to show you those screenshots of the representation, because I cannot get a database to show you live. The database has a lot of proprietary information. All right. So I'm going to go to the next screen to show you something. So this screen I was showing you here was a list of candidates that are in the system, and there are a lot of them. If I check this mark here, if we were to check that mark, you would see how many candidates come up. But I'm going to show you in another representation. Now, look at this. This guy, Mark Bailey, okay? This is in the States. So this came from Bullhorn, okay? In the system, this is what the resume looks like. So this is pretty nice, right? This is a pretty nice resume. If I can look into the system and see your resume like this, when I click on the, let me go back here. If I were to click on this little binoculars here, it takes me to this page, and I would be able to see you. It pulls up everything. It tells me that and at the top here, I made sure I make these bolder because I created some little more writings and put over it. You were screened for the job. This guy was screened for a job. It gives you the whole history. They received all his documents. And if I look at the top there that you cannot see, it tells me that there are 3 files in the system. And if I were to click file, I would see his resume that he sent in either in PDF or Word, right? So the documents have been received. A reference check has been done on this guy. And if I look for the reference check, it's supposed to be somewhere up here. Reference check. There were 2 submissions on this guy. I was going to say dude on this guy, right? His references, there are 2 references in the system. It is right here, but you can't see it. That's why I make sure I rewrote these and make it highlighted. Took me a lot of time today to get these little titles up there. And they submitted him 2 times to the client, right? He has not been interviewed or placed. So I'm not sure what went on there. So maybe the client did not accept him or something. Okay, that's my assumption, because there is nothing about interview here. It isn't ticked off, and there's nothing about placement. So when I look on his record in the database, I will know the history of Mr. Daly. Okay. All right, I'm going to get to the next screen. So that Mr. Daly, I'm going back. Look at this other guy. This is Mr. Blake. This is Blake. Same thing about Blake. Now, this one is a little bit fuzzy, not so nice, but the same thing. I'm able to see Blake's resume, right? And I'm able to see all the things about Blake. So when I go in to the list of candidates, I can click on each candidate and pull up the details. And that's the details. Okay, so I'm going to a next one. Now, I created this because it is clearer for you to see. When I am a recruiter, even the way that the system comes, I can customize these things for myself. I customize here. As you can see, that's my name right there. So this was mine. This piece is real, okay? Real from what I used to do, right? The name is not the person's name. See, I made that name and I put there. Okay, good. So I'm not showing you anybody's proprietary data, right? So this guy, right? Okay, it would show me his ID. It would show me a score if I were to pull him up and so on. His title, his address, his phone number, the last note on him. And if I owned him, it would be there. Okay, I just wanted to show you that in a very clear way. Right? So I customize the columns to make my work. Even though it is customized coming to the system, each recruiter can customize these columns the way they want them and the way they want to see to make their work more efficient. And this was a way of making my work more efficient because we had what we call candidate ownership. If I'm working with 100 consultants, they would be attached to me right here. I can always go in and I can pull up all my consultants and see the information on all my consultants at the same time. I can know who I place, who I have not placed. So this is a really magnificent tool, guys, for companies to use. And I'm not promoting Bullhorn or any one of those or Telio or any of those. I'm just saying I can only show you screenshots of the one I use, one of the ones I use, because I can easily explain it, right? Okay, so this is another screenshot of another candidate here. It tells you web responses. He did not apply for a job over the internet. That's why you see 0 here. Somebody in the company must have put his profile in the system. So remember, how does your profile get in the company's system? Maybe you have a friend there, or maybe you sent it in an email. Then the recruiter has to go and upload it and fill out and put it in the system. If you apply over the internet, you would see the web response. This person was submitted to the client once. Client submission, so you have to internally submit the candidate to your boss or to your account manager, and then the client was sent to the client. So this one is probably done by an agency, because when we send it, if you send it to your account manager, that's the submission. Then it would send to the agency, that's that submission. And this guy was lucky, he was interviewed for this job, and you see it right there. So how more efficient can we get? Okay, how much more efficient can we get? Now, in Bullhorn 2, which is this system, you can there's a word editor in there that you can edit a resume inside of the system. So that was to show you efficiency. Now, the next thing we are going to talk about is very exciting. And guess what? We're going to talk to you about how you get that resume out of the system. And that is very important for you guys. You need to know that when your resume lands in the database of a company, how do they get it out of there? Remember, as I said at the top, when you submit your resume to the company, it does not fall through, okay? It stays in there, but somebody has to go and take it out. Are you with me? Right? It's like I'm teaching a university. You know, I used to teach at the university, but my students used to talk a lot. They used to even chat in the back there when I'm not, when I'm talking, they're talking too. So guys, I just want to know if we are good so far. Can we move on now to talk about how I get your resume out of that database? And what I do, I'm going to show you a requirement too. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. All right, so let me talk about that. How does Yvonne get your resume out of the system? Now, if my friend Brother Rex was here, he would tell you about Boolean search operators, because it's almost like a little bit of coding, but it's not coding, okay? But we as recruiters or resource managers or hiring managers have to know how to get your resume out of the system. So right now I'm just introducing some 6 key Boolean search operators in order to get your resume. And they are very easy, and or not. And we have some punctuations. We use brackets, we use quotations, which tells us it is a string. And we use what we call wildcard or asterisks, right? I know I'm not talking over anybody's head yet, right? We're goal-inspired, ambitious professionals. We understand this language. We're just saying that we use some words to get your resume out of the system. But these words are not keywords. I don't reach keywords yet. These words are just what we call Boolean search operators. They help to make, combined with the keywords, to help us to get your resume out of the system. So let me keep going. Suppose somebody comes to me and say, find a database manager with 5 years of experience in Unix or Linux, 2 years of VB, but I do not want anybody with Microsoft. Remember, it could be Oracle database, right? It could be Visual Basic, which is a database. They just don't want Microsoft. So I can't find Microsoft in the word. Or they could say a DBA, which means database administrator and not database analyst. And then I have to find the administrator or not the analyst. And then I would have to know how to take this information. This is what I get. And I have to transcribe it now into my Boolean search. And watch my Boolean search now. I'm getting there. Okay. Now, what they gave me. Here are my keywords. Oracle, Unix, Linux, Manage, VB, Visual Basic, Microsoft. Okay, that's spelled properly. It's just because I have a common N there. Doesn't matter whether you put capital or common, okay? Now, the Boolean search operators I'm going to use is and, or. I'm going to use a star. I'm going to use a quotation, and I'm going to use not. So when I go to the system, so the recruiter has to go and either write it down and copy it and paste it in there with the search, right, at the search bar, or just type it in. Oracle, and I'm putting the operators in hard capital letters and coded, okay? VB or Visual Basic, this should have been an capital OR, and I can do it right here. Great, I love Canva, okay? And I can already bold it, okay? I fix it right there, awesome. That's why I love Canva, okay? Now, I'm going to put Oracle and Unix or Linux with brackets so that it tells me that this is one part of the string, and, right, bold again. I want to bold my operators so you can see them. Manage, right? Is a manager, but I want anything with manage, you know, ER, management, manage. If I put MANAGE with an asterisk, it will give me manage, manager, management, right? Okay. And VB or Visual Basic, not Microsoft. When I put the search string in, this is what we get. Now, this came straight out of Bullhorn. I never even, so this was the example they used. They got 25 records. 25 of you are DBAs with Visual Basic. And what the recruiter does, that they will go into each file and they will read now. Okay, so when people are telling you it take a manager 5 seconds, 6 seconds, I just don't want to see those things on LinkedIn. 5 seconds to read your resume. There's more to it than that, guys. Right? We pull them out with a Boolean search, right? And then we're going to have 25. The recruiter can look right here and read it from the system, because I showed you how we can look at the resume. You can even search your resume in the system to see how much of that stuff. They can print it, but nobody today is going to print 25 resumes. They're going to read it in here, and then they narrow it down, okay? And narrow it down. Okay, so that's good. So we talk about that. I'm going to move on to the next page, okay? So look at your relationship with the database. You're the job seeker. You upload your resume, it sits until a hiring manager or a recruiter comes, apply a Boolean search string, and take you out. And when they apply the search string, they can get 25 people, they can get 30 people, they can get 100 people, they can get 5 people. The more common, if you are just, say, an administrator with Word and Microsoft Excel, you probably get 1,000 people. And then you have to go back and do another search to refine it. Are you with me? Okay. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? Nice. Okay. Now that's great. So drop a comment. Let me know you're here still and you're talking to me and you're understanding how this works, guys. I'm going to go on to let you know the implications for you, because as you can see what I've done here, guys, I have my Boolean operators. I have my keywords. And that is why I'm going to tell you the implications for you. Stop worrying about the ATS. And the reason why you should stop worrying about the ATS is because the ATS is not going anywhere. It makes work efficient. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes. All good. Yes. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. I'm so happy that you're understanding a little bit more. So when you're on LinkedIn and maybe a resume writer will say, okay, I can make your resume ATS friendly. You can make your resume ATS friendly if you understand how the ATS works. So I'm so happy that you're all here today because this is very crucial. The reason why you're not getting the jobs that you're applying for is that you are not making your resume friendly with the ATS, right? You heard that your resume was dropping in there and you're cursing that darn thing out. You're cursing out the resume, the ATS, okay? Listen, it could be your friend, right? Don't worry about the ATS. Honestly, that's awesome. I want to highlight this. Do not worry about the ATS. Make the ATS your friend. And I'm going to tell you why the ATS could be your best friend. Okay? You apply once, it is in there. Now, let us go back now, guys, and we're going to talk about that some more. So I wanted to show you that representation. The next thing, what is the implication for the job seeker? Maybe this should be a little bit more. Looks like I could make it a little bit more. Whoops, I just dropped it off the screen. Fixing it while it's on the screen so you can see it brighter. Your resume, and I say that the first week or the second week that I had my first live, I think this is my 5th live, wonderful, should be clean and uncluttered. Your resume will be attached in the system. You just saw it, right? I didn't show you the attachment, but I showed you that they say that there were files on that applicant's record. And there were some of those could have been the resumes, could have been your degree. So when you send your degree to the company, they didn't throw it in file 13. It's in the system, right? The resume has to be parsed in the system. When the resume is parsed in the system, this is just a little bit technical here. The optical character recognition will scan the resume and put the various parts of the resume into the areas, right? The resume has to be parsed. Oops, I gotta go back and undo this. I gotta make it smaller so you can see everything. Sorry, just one thing here I'm gonna fix here. I'm gonna make this smaller. If you have never used Canva, guys, this is a way I'm teaching you how to use Canva right now. Okay, right? Maybe I can do 28 and make it a little bigger. Okay. All right, nice. Parsing divides the sentences and identify the fields in the computer to put them. So your resume is parsed in the different areas. Now, computers are built to read like humans from left to right, but with limitations. It will not recognize your fancy formats, your fancy characters, and those fancy things, and those columns and those boxes. It will not recognize those things. So what I'm saying to you, listen to Auntie Yvonne. Your resume must be clean and uncluttered. Nobody cares about the fancy boxes. I am looking at the person's, what you have to offer, your core skills, your transferable skills. I do not care about those boxes and those fancy things. It might look nice to you. You know, back in the day when you used to print your resume, we always wanted to look nice on the page with borders. I had a resume one time with nice borders. You're not hand delivering your resume. Your resume is going through a system. Your resume is being read by a system. Do not put the fancy boxes, okay? So now, how to make your resume job description and ATS friendly? What you can do, you can use, it is always best to use a chronological resume, right? Or a hybrid of that, a chronological and a functional hybrid. But for most people, unless you are senior director and VP, stick to the chronological resume. If you are a VP and a senior director, you can work with a functional resume, because basically your resume probably doesn't even go through an ATS. It's going to be handed to somebody in an email, right? Okay, we are not there yet. Okay, so your resume is going to go through their ATS and all that. Make it chronological, right? Okay, and use traditional formats. Don't use the fancy. You can do Calibri. I hope that's spelled right. And those and those formats. Okay, no columns, no boxes, right? If you're sending your resume directly to a recruiter, especially if you're in the Ottawa area, send Word. The recruiter is going to manually update your resume in the ATS, right? And just because it is an ATS and you want to be careful, we do not, some ATS systems don't handle the PDFs too well, right? And we don't know. When you don't know, err on the side of caution. I always say, why are we insisting that we have to send a PDF? Some people say, no, I don't want to send PDF. Well, take your PDF. But if you want your resume to get into the system, guys, and if you don't know the system that they're using, err on the side of caution. I see a lot of things on LinkedIn, and some people are saying, oh, send PDF, send PDF. And I work with so-and-so, send PDF. Well, you don't work with every system. So I would say, if I'm smart, I'm going to send a Word document. Some people say, oh, they'll change my resume. Well, they're going to change it anyway, but they will call you when they're changing it. Because when I was a recruiter, we work with consultants. We would have to change your resume, or half of them, 90% of them would not get the job because they do not represent in their resumes very well. And that is why a recruiting company that is like a broker between you and the hiring company, when you send the resume through the recruiting company, they will actually call you and say, do you have this? Do you have that? It appears that you have that, but you did not say it that way. And then they will help you to wordsmith the resume right there on the phone and send it back to you to review it. The reason why it comes back to you to review, to make sure you're okay with it, is because if you're called for an interview, you have to be honest and the recruiter has to be honest. So there's no worry or no pointer saying they're going to change my resume. It is going to be changed anyway. By the time it gets where it's going, it's going to be changed. Recruiters in an agency, probably most of them are resume writers. Recruiters in corporate, not all of them are resume writers. And I just want to say that today, and this is no shade at anybody, but it's just natural. If you're working with, if I am working with, I am using Mitel a lot, Mitel, okay? And I'm a recruiter. You send your resume to me, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to make sure that it matches, and I'm going to have 10 resumes. And the one that comes closer, I put to my manager and I make my case. Remember that this recruiter is not changing anything. If you send it to an agency, the job that the agency A has, agency B might have it, and agency C might have it. They want to make sure that you get the job, because what? That's how they make their money. So they're going to call you. They're going to work with you to make sure that your resume matches. If it doesn't match, I will tell you honestly, I don't think you're going to be a good fit for this one. And when I was with the recruit staffing firm, actually, the consultants and I developed such good relationship because we talk all the time about the different jobs that I could put them forward for, because their resume is in my ATS. It didn't fall in. It is right there. So these are some of the things: known tables, special characters or lines or graphics or clip art. Bullets must be consistent. Don't use all the bullets in the world. And I always say, just use the regular one, right? And save your file in a .docs file, okay? All right, guys. So that's about the resume. So I just want you to comment here and let me know how things are going. Is there anything else you want to know? Do you have any questions for me? I should take some questions right now. I'd like some questions. LinkedIn user. Gulanar, are you there? Michael. Robert. Okay, let me know, guys. Renee, let me know if there are any questions. Do you have any questions? I'm sure you have questions. I could not be that good. I was a teacher. Don't worry about the ATS. I was a teacher, I was a great teacher, but I'm not perfect. So I want some questions here. Is there anybody here who doesn't understand anything that I have said so far? How to navigate the ATS. Is there any question, guys? Michael, all good? Great, Michael. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Is there anything else, guys? Anybody on the system? Everybody understands the ATS? Are you going to write your best resume? Are you going to write your best resume? Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Hi, Nicole. Thank you. It's going well. Thank you, Nicole. And just let me know, is there anything else that you would like to know about the ATS? How it affects you? Remember, the best thing that you can do is to make your resume job description friendly. Now, we went through the resume already, so I'm not going to go over the resume. You can go to YouTube and watch those. I have tons of information on how to write your resume. I have tons of information, guys, on making your resume job description friendly and creating a resume that is like an interview generating machine. Everybody who has used my resume format get noticed. After they upload the resume to LinkedIn, they come back to me a day or two and say, Yvonne, recruiters are reaching out to me. People are noticing my resume. If there is something else that is not happening in a week or so of writing that resume in that format, there is something else going on, okay? It might be that you're not repurposing your resume properly. You might need a power hour, okay? And I have worked with people. I've worked giving people power hours. If you're interested in my power hour, if you're still not getting traction, if you're on LinkedIn for a month and nobody's reaching out to you about your resume, something is wrong. Something is wrong. You're not doing it right. Okay, so just remember, you should not be there. And the earlier you get that fixed is the better, so you don't have that huge gap in your right now. Companies are hiring. After the COVID quarter, companies are hiring. Last year, after the first COVID quarter, things were like crazy, because after the companies decided or figured out to do the remote interviews and all the remote stuff, things were crazy. So when people tell you I can't get a job because of COVID, I don't think so. So there is something else. It's an excuse, because there are lots of jobs. And if you're in IT, guys, there are lots of IT jobs out there. Lots of IT jobs. And on LinkedIn, I'm sharing people's jobs sometimes. If you follow me, you will see that I share other companies' jobs. I'm not tied to a company as of last month. I was at one for 15 years as a senior director. Okay. I am not there anymore. So I just share people's jobs. Anybody who has a job, I share it. And people have gotten jobs because I've shared them. Okay. So what I'd like you to do, guys, let me know. Now, if you want to work with me for a power hour, because I can customize that for you, you can email me, goal-inspired-career-coaching@gmail.com. It's so easy. Goal Inspired Career Coaching. If you put that in Google, it's all over. Goal-inspired-career-coaching.com is my website. Put that into Google. You can go to my website and explore and see all the things that I have to offer there and all my services, right? So this is not to market to you today. I just want to know that sometimes people need a little more. Then you can reach out to me, goal-inspired-career-coaching@gmail.com. And if you're here and you want to join my Facebook group for Goal Inspired Career individuals, you can join my Facebook group, guys. I'm just going to put that banner up. Okay, that's my Facebook. Okay, so it's called Career Advancement Club, but that's facebook.com groups Career Advance. You know how the groups thing go in Facebook. If you are on YouTube, Goal Inspired Career Coaching, you Google that, you'll find me there. If you're on LinkedIn, hashtag me, Goal Inspired Career Coaching, hashtag Goal Inspired Career Coaching. Okay, guys. So I just want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in today. I want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in today. So I would like to know just one quick thing. If you would like me to do a topic for next week that I have not done before, let me know. I can take on another topic, because if I don't hear from you, I'm going to choose something. So I will see you in my next show next week. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Michael.
Bonjour.